Eventually, coming to a spot with no one else around, I waited for Crow to break the silence.
Loki.
Loki? The god from Norse mythology?
結論から言えば、それが誠の時計に宿っているものの正体だ。
Loki, isn't that Greek mythology? No!
アホ。北欧神話だ。
Well, whatever. Let's not sweat the minor stuff here. If I remember, Loki was a sort of trickster figure on inconsistent terms with the gods, but he was also foretold to be one of the primary causes of a Ragnarok, right?
ん？なんだ。妙なことを知っておるな。
Crow's eyes went wide with surprise, as if I really was the last person on Earth she expected would know about that old myth. Well, I've played enough RPGs in my time to memorize the names of a few Norse gods here and there.
お主は何を言っておるのだ？
Don't worry about it. More importantly, is Loki a stronger god than you? Witnessing a showdown between gods sounded like quite the spectacle, but Crow just showed me an irritated face.
いや、ロキというのはあれの自称だ。おそらく変身や瞬間移動の能力からそれらしい神の名を語っているだけだろう。正体は我が輩のようにしっかりした形や自我を持たない何かでしかない。人と話すこともできないはずだ。
I see. If Makoto's watch was a prototype of sorts, then it made sense that it would have a lesser being than a full-blown god residing within it. Furthermore, if the watch had the two separate powers of transformation and teleportation, perhaps the entity which inhabited it was a hybrid of two individual entities. Though that sounded kinda grotesque to me. I see. That must be why Makoto doesn't have someone like you to explain things to her when the situation calls for it.
お主は認めぬが、我が輩は本当にすごい神なのだぞ。
I know. This was no time for idle chattering. Back to the real issue at hand. Okay, so if that thing calling itself Loki isn't a god, does that mean Makoto doesn't need to worry about any sort of side effect or caveat to the powers she's wielding?
いや、むしろ良くない。
あ
あも適当なものだと、時計の持ち主にどのような影響が出るか分かったものではない。
Hey, hold up. Naturally, it was that comment that made me get really serious about things. I know Makoto's been acting kinda weird lately, but she suddenly had these weird powers dropped into her lap, so isn't she just excited about that? Though, I had a hunch before that maybe it's her true underlying personality coming to the surface.
人間であるお主がそう感じたのなら、そうなのであろうよ。問題は、なぜその誠の素の性格が今になって表に出てきたのか、ということだ。
Huh? Oh, I see. That reminds me, Makoto had kept her real self hidden from view for quite a while. We'd grown somewhat closer owing to the secrets we shared with each other, but seeing Makoto starting to act differently at school too was definitely bizarre. So, does that mean it really is the watch's doing after all?
さすがに詳しいところはわからんが、お主に懐きすぎではないか?
Well, she's cute, so I was happy about that, but I wonder why she went that far. Maybe she was pranking me, or just got the feeling she could do as she pleased, sort of like she's gotten overtly honest with herself, I guess.
理性の減衰、感情の増大か。あれが人間で遊んでいるつもりなら、あり得る話だ。
In other words, that thing's causing extreme sentimentality for her. The moment a special power fell into her hands, she wanted to make use of it right away. And she decided that refraining from showing her real self at school was a pain in the ass.
元の性格が実直なせいで、人に迷惑をかけないのが幸いであり、変調に気づくのを遅らせたな。
Makoto seems like a dutiful person, someone who'd want to devote themselves to helping others and making the world around them a better place. Like Miyu, albeit in a different way, her way of life was one that would amaze most ordinary people.
とはいえ、このまま放置すれば、いずれ取り返しのつかない騒ぎを起こすのは間違いない。 力に溺れた者の末路はお主らも童話でもよく見るだろう。
Well, no matter how strong Makoto is, she can definitely be clumsy at times. I guess I need to figure out how to get the watch from her. Wait. If Makoto's extreme sentimentality led to her acting very affectionate towards me, not to mention getting jealous of other girls talking to me, does that mean my feelings for her are mutual?
めでたいことだ。
God damn it! If it weren't for that stupid watch, I'd be having the time of my life right now. My head drooped forward, as though I were a pitcher who just allowed the batter to score the winning home run. No, wait. This wasn't something I'd have to regret for the rest of my life. It wasn't like I was in the shoes of that pitcher who'd never be able to show his face in that stadium again. Why didn't I just come out and confess when I had the chance? Ah, screw it. Guess I'll just have to clean up this mess so I can go shout it from the mountains then.
めんどくさいな。
Such was Crow's perfectly apt summary of this whole charade. So basically, Makoto, if you keep holding onto that watch, it's just gonna raise hell for you, so give it to me.
え？やだ。
Such was my desperate attempt to convince her this morning.
ドア方面。
Come on, I was just trying to take the easiest way out. It was lunchtime, and I covered my hand with my mouth as I dejectedly muttered my defense. Well, if Makoto actually knew that watch would raise hell, she would have gotten rid of it long ago without me needing to say anything. In other words, I have to take it from her by force. Well, I suppose anyone who has obtained a new power like that would be hesitant to give it up. If circumstances forced me to give up Crow's watch, even I would be hesitant, owing to my emotions.
それにしても、学び屋というのはいつの時代も賑やかなものだ。
楽しいですよ。それにしてもプロさんが教室にいるのは初めてですね。こんなに目立つのに皆さんがスルーしているのは不思議な感じです。
Didi giggled. She was still the only person other than me able to see Crow. A passive observer who couldn't hear what we were talking about would naturally assume that it was just Didi and I conversing. So, what brings you to the classroom, Crow?
ご主人や誠の様子が気になってな。
Yeah, right. You're just here to gawk, aren't you?
ただのではない。全力で野じ馬だ。
Don't boast about it.
誠さ
Didi, unaware of the specific details about Makoto, wore a blank expression.
ん、そういえばご主人様は最近誠さんと仲良さそうにしていますが、お付き合いはしていませんよね。
Ah, no, sorry. Didi was taken aback by the whole situation. I guess she was kind of in the dark about everything. It's complicated.
もしかして振られちゃいましたか？私がセカンドチャンスでしょうか？
If anything, it's actually the opposite.
うじうじと鬱陶しい。
Well, I couldn't really talk about something like this in the middle of the classroom.
何の話をしてるの？
おっと。
Crow disappeared into the ceiling to avoid Makoto as she came over, though it's not like she could have bumped into her or anything.
ご主人様、何のトークをしていたことにしますか？うん、私の話をしてたんだ。なぜそれを？誠さんはエスパーですか？
Well, of course she'd know if we are right in front of her while we talk.
エスパーじゃないけど超能力者ってのはあながち間違いじゃないんだよね。
That reminds me, Makoto, about that watch again.
またその話をするの？
Makoto was obviously averse to talking about that topic, while Didi was getting curious.
時計？
Yeah, that pocket watch Makoto found at her own house belonged to my grandfather.
ご主人様が持ってるポケットウォッチですか？レイ君とお揃いのなんだよね。ペアアイテム。ほうほう、それは興味深い。
Well, the watch is one of my grandfather's cherished possessions and all, so I'd like to have it back. For DD, who didn't know the full details, that explanation would probably suffice.
レイ君がおじいさん思いなのはいいと思うけど、さすがにただじゃ返せないな。
What if I gave you something in exchange?
何と？
My body. I see, Makoto always reacts to things that seem interesting to her.
力ずくで奪えないから口八丁とはせこいがお主らしいな。
I heard Crow's voice from the ceiling, even though I couldn't see her. Leave me alone, will ya? How about a wiener from my lunchbox?
いや、私別に腹ペコキャラとかじゃないんで。
Maybe money would be something you don't need more of, I guess. Should I offer her games, books, or stuffed animals? Since she's a girl, maybe she would like clothes and accessories? I thought about my options, but they were all things that could be bought with money. I couldn't think of anything that I could give her in exchange for a magical item. If I were to exchange my watch for her own, then dispose of it and try to get my own watch back from her. No, Makoto wouldn't agree to give up her watch first. On the other hand, if I gave her my watch first, then there would be nothing I could do if she stole it without giving me hers.
あんまり面白いアイディアはないのかな。
While I was lost in my thoughts, Makoto seemed to have lost interest in the conversation.
誠さんは何となら交換しても良いのですか？
Oh. DD chimed in at the perfect time.
そうだな。確かに考えちゃうよね。
Maybe I could give you something that isn't tangible.
真心とか友情とか？
I know I said something that isn't tangible, but I don't have any idea how I could give you friendship or devotion.
そっか。レイ君をもらっちゃうって手もあるのか。
Take my what?
何もかも全部。
Huh?
レイ君が付き合ってくれるなら時計のことは考えてもいいかも。わお！
I was shocked. How I wanted to hear those words from the normal Makoto, but the normal Makoto would never ever say that.
もういいからお前ら付き合っちゃえよ。
違いない。
Shushi's exasperated comment about our conversation was followed by Crow's voice from the ceiling, agreeing with him. I wish I could do that too.
で、レイ君の答えは？
For now, I think it should wait. I don't want to make a hasty decision out of lust. I try to play it down as if it were a joke.
あれ？もったいないよね。
Indeed! I watched Makoto's mannerisms as we talked. Judging from the way she moved when I mentioned her watch must be in that pocket on the inside of her jacket. I've never tried stealing anything before, but maybe it's worth a shot. I could always turn back time if the shit hit the fan, but no, wait! If I put my hands anywhere near there, everyone would think I'm trying to grope her.
いやん、レイ君の視線がいやらしい。さっきから誠さんのおっぱいを凝視されていますね。
Yeesh! This situation is just hopeless.
女子は男の視線に敏感だな。
Thanks a lot, Captain Obvious. I guess it wouldn't be right to try anything in the classroom. Lunchtime was almost over, so I'd have to wait until after school. After all, I'd be able to bring out the big guns then. And so, classes passed without incident until the end of the day. I kept my eye on the other students leaving the shoe lockers and eventually spotted the specific person I was looking for. Michiru.
あら、兄様。
As I called out for Michiru, who was swinging her parasol in front of her feet as she walked, a wonderful smile came to her face.
今日はなんと素晴らしき日なのでしょう。
Why? Did something good happen?
兄様が私に甘い声をかけてくださったではありませんか。
Well, I'd had my guard up for a second there. This was indisputably the real Michiru. If hearing my voice is enough to make you happy, then your happiness comes so cheaply that I almost pity you. I sighed with exasperation as I took hold of her hand. Nevertheless, my offhand remark wasn't enough to remove the smile from Michiru's face.
いえ、最近は兄様と登校することができず、もう学校など行かなくてもいいのではと考えていましたから。
Please don't skip school.
兄様の帰りを部屋で待つ新妻プレイというのも悪くないと思いましたのに。
Yeah, that doesn't sound bad, but just cut me some slack here. Well, if I don't spend a little time with Michiru every now and then, she might end up becoming some kind of hermit. More importantly, I had a favor to ask of you.
お任せください。
I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I'd like you to listen to what I have to say this time before you decide whether you want to help me or not. Basically, I wanted her to help me steal Makoto's watch. I didn't want to make the mistake of underestimating Makoto, so I put my faith in my strongest ally, Michiru. I had a fair fight in mind, blade against blade, fire against fire, one strong wit pitted against another. I was tempted to ask Miu to be the brains of the operation as well, but I hesitated to involve someone from outside my family due to the nature of the heist we were attempting.
なるほど、そういうご相談ですか。
Michiru's eyes popped open with surprise, and she suddenly lowered her voice to a whisper. Huh? You already know what I want to ask you?
兄様の妹として以心伝心は当然のことです。
No, I have a feeling you're mistaken here. Would you mind telling me what you were expecting me to say?
ついに私と
How candid! I should have expected you to say that.
兄弟とは良いものです。
No matter how I phrased it, I wasn't asking her to do a good thing. My reasons for wanting to do this are complicated, but I want to steal Makoto's pocket watch.
懐中時計？
Naturally, Michiru cocked her head in curiosity, so I told her the basic details of the situation.
なるほど、おじい様の遺品ですか。
I would have liked to solve things a little more peacefully myself, though.
交渉で返してもらえないとなると、少々強引にでも返してもらうしかありませんものね。
When I suggested stealing something from another person, Michiru showed no hint of hesitation. I already knew this too well, but contrary to her dainty looks, she can be surprisingly brutish. That's when Crow floated down from the sky.
ご主人、言われた通り誠の向かった先を確認しておいたぞ。駅には行かず徒歩で公園の方に向かったから、今からでも追いつけるであろうよ。
I typed out "thank you" on my phone and held it up for Crow to read.
ま、我が輩は飽きてきたのでモノレールに戻る。
She really loves that monorail, huh? Crow disappeared into thin air, having done her part.
それで兄様、城之内さんに対してはどのような手段をお考えなんですか？
I'm pretty sure she keeps it in her jacket's inner pocket. Is there any way to take it from there without her noticing?
もしかして私にそれをやれというお話なのですか？
Well, I figured you'd have a better chance of succeeding than me.
さすがにスリなんて練習したこともありませんし、そんなところに手を出してうまくいくとは思えませんが。
Even for a jack of all trades like Michiru, I guess this was a tricky thing to ask of her.
もっと何かこう城之内さんの弱みを盾にして脅迫するなどの手段の方がよくありませんか？
How unexpectedly brutal of you!
そんなに褒めないでください。
That sounds like something the villain in a Steven Seagal movie would do, though. You may have faith, but I don't.
あ、無理ですね。やめておきましょう。というより、城之内さんってそんなに鋭い方でしたっけ？
Michiru said something surprisingly rude, but Makoto herself had said she was trying to conceal her true nature and abilities. Well, we can keep talking about it while we walk. Wouldn't want to stand around and end up missing her.
そうですね。
As she spoke, Michiru somehow produced a smartphone in her hand. Huh? Did she buy a new one or something? And besides, I didn't know Michiru even knew how to use a touchscreen phone. Huh? I frantically patted every pocket of my clothing, but my smartphone was in none of them. When did you take that anyway?
ま、やるだけやってみましょうか。
With a smile, Michiru put my phone back in the chest pocket of my uniform.